narrative that US is every country they've gone into, they've destabilized. They're in Germany, they're in Japan, they were in the Horn of Africa for years. In the Middle East, defending Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait against the brand of Islam that Iran preaches, because Iran funds people like Hamas, they funded terror in places like Yemen, So the US has bases in places like Qatar and Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia, and they've been there for years. Why did they not destroy those countries? They have a military base. I know a friend, just live a few minutes from here. The husband served in the British Embassy, the Joint UN Force in Germany. They have bases in Qatar, all over the Middle East. Why has he not destroyed those places? Okay, come to Libya, come to those countries that you say they've destroyed. If you check, there is complicity of the corrupt leadership. The APC narrative that, once US comes to any country, they destroy. It is the warlords on ground already. The complicit politicians in those countries who, fighting for mineral resources and all that, collude and destroy their own countries from within, because there's one thing they say in my place. They say they cannot sell you out. They say they cannot buy you outside except somebody inside the house.
Now you make the rats wait there inside house. Now they take the one waiting for bush fish.
All that notion that America is coming because of anywhere they come to, they destroy. People have destroyed that. In 60% of nations that they've succeeded well. I think that they're coming to steal our minerals. Ask me, is China not currently stealing the minerals with helicopters, picking californium, picking gold up in Zamfara? Are they not already benefiting from it? Because Tinubu came into government on the back of propaganda, lies. APC has been in office for 2 years, is it 7 months, and all they've done is tell lies, propaganda. Now that reality has dawned on them, they are still in propaganda mode. Why does a secular state allow what should be a customary law? Sharia should be a customary law, bounding things like marriage. Why is it being used as the main law? Because it is political Sharia. Did Trump say it's coming to attack the country? No. But they change the narrative because they have people who craft their narratives for them. I have said it before that there's a war of narrative. These people have hired qualified narrative changers to change the narrative. Precious, it's about a week since Trump made his action. Have you seen anything serious?
No.
Have you seen the government come out to make decisive statements, arrest people? How come the government has not arrested anybody? But on Friday or Thursday, we saw in Nigerian's blog that the local government chairman for Futua local government in Katsina is lying down by the roadside or somewhere in an abandoned building with AK-47 wielding terrorists. But somehow the government has not arrested anybody. Instead, the Nigerian government is still playing propaganda, bringing images from 9 months ago. Do you see these people as serious? No. They are so much set in that propaganda. I pray that Congress will get back together, put this bill on the table, vote for it. I encourage all Nigerians in the US, call your senator. Dear Nigerians, if you live in the US, call your senators, especially those of them who are due for the midterm elections, Republican senators. Tell them to vote in favor of Ted Cruz's bill. All the names must be released. Every governor that has passed Sharia in a secular nation needs to, if they have houses, all their assets must be seized. Weakest assets must be seized. Everybody backing this government doing nothing. Nigerians, there is a role you can play. Call your senator, back the bill, put the names of those people out. You will be shocked, the people, the high and the mighty. Some leaders of caliphate, emirates in the north are part and parcel of this leadership. Call, if you are in Texas, call Senator Ted Cruz. There are such a high number of Nigerians in Texas. Thankfully, they are mostly Southeasterners. Call your senators to vote in favor of the bill and let us pass this bill. Once that bill is passed, this issue's assets will be frozen.
That is the bill against Miyetti, Allah, and the rest sponsors and sympathizers.
Miyetti, Allah, sponsors of terrorism. And every governor, the 16 governors or 12 governors that have implemented Sharia, past and present, all of them should have visa bans. All assets should be seized. And you know that if they decide to strike, it will be both the sponsors and the main implementers of Illinois. Dear Nigerians, call your senators. We know that there's oppression about people on the ground, so people cannot really say what they want to say as such. So it's the responsibility of those of us abroad who have some level of security to be able to come and say responsibly, not propaganda, but responsibly call out the government. And Dele Faro to me says that those of you in the diaspora, do your best to call out, because if we do it here, we'll get arrested and all that.
I know, Abby. Okay.
We know, so we have to do it. It's a collective effort. We have to do it together. Now, there are just a few lots of dogma online. Why we shouldn't do that? Why we shouldn't do this? People For about the first week where the US said this, or the first 1 or 2 days, and people were flying with all their propaganda, thank God that, in short, I feel like I don't even have to say anything. Nigerians have done, without me even going on Twitter, I've seen from listening online, Nigerians have done sufficient pushback to say, you are calling Libya, you are calling Sudan, Somalia, you're calling people and saying, oh, they destroyed these countries. No. In Africa, there is a particular a campaign that the US have done for years to push back terrorism in what they call the Horn of Africa. So some countries that make up Southeast Africa, including Djibouti, Somalia. There are several lots of countries.
Oh, by the way, the president of Djibouti should mean they go back again for the 6th tenure. Sorry, just go ahead. That's by the way. Just go ahead.
So there are a couple of sorry, precious. I think I picked the wrong note. I've made some notes. Just bear with me 1 minute. Let me pick that note again. Let me make sure that I picked my wrong note. Let me just make sure that I keep the right note. Because
now. Say people thought say I did your party. They say I the patronize APC now. You are the patronize. Oh yeah now.
So a lot of Nigerians have now been calling into different shows, and they've pushed back on that narrative that US is coming to this, because every country they've gone into, they've destabilized. They're in Germany, they are in Japan, they were in the Horn of Africa for years. They are in the Middle East, defending Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait against the brand of terrorist violence or the brand of Islam that Iran preaches, because Iran funds people like Hamas. They funded terror in places like Yemen, So the US has bases in places like Qatar and Kuwait, because, and Saudi Arabia, and they've been there for years. Why did they not destroy those countries? Why did they not destroy those economies? Look at the countries that you say they destroyed. They are in Germany, they have a military base. I know a friend, he just lived a few minutes from here. The husband served in the British Embassy, the Joint UN Force in Germany. They have bases in Qatar, all over the Middle East. Why has he not destroyed those places? Okay, come to Libya, come to those countries that you say they've destroyed. If you check, there is complicity of the corrupt leadership. Something that Professor Chidi Odinkalu says. He said the one time you invited him to your show and you were talking to him about some of the theories from David Hunday, and he said, spare me all that nonsense. And this is somebody who was working international. Are we saying foreign powers will not be complicit? One way or the other, they might and they will be complicit. Because do you expect people to actually come into your country, do all this defense work free because they are Baba Salah and go, and you will not pay in one way or the other? Is it normal? Let's put that to one side. So I am so glad that Nigerians have sufficiently defeated the APC narrative that, once US comes to any country, they destroy it. It is the warlords on ground already, the complicit politicians in those countries who, fighting for mineral resources and all that, collude and destroy their own countries from within. Because there's one thing they say in my place. They say they cannot sell you out. They say they cannot buy you outside except somebody inside the house.
Now you make the rats wait there inside house. Now they tell you one waiting for bush, say fish, do somewhere.
So we should not say it is. We try to make very simplistic arguments. Everywhere they've gone, they scatter this. Is that an absolute statement? No. You will see that in 60% of places they've gone to, they've succeeded. They've been protecting these Middle Eastern countries for decades, and there is a quid pro quo there. It's not free. It's always Africans who want something that is always free. The quid pro quo is we will buy your weapons. We will train our military. There's billions. See, even the UK to renew trident. The UK's nuclear in Scotland, it costs billions. I think every 7 years or so. They will continue to be an ally of the world's most powerful nation. Let's pack that.
But why your UK never even talk for this whole matter? How come UK, your colleague, people who colonize
anything? He said, I'm sure you've seen the viral video.
Of course, yes.
He said nobody is coming to save you. What I think Tinubu is doing behind the door is to hire people like Tony Blair, because he's a good friend of Tony Blair. to see and if those people will pass behind the doors to do lobbying for him. So what they say they are doing, that they tell you they are keeping quiet, they are paying lobbyists. APC is very good with it. When they stole the election, they sent lobbyists to Washington. That's what they are doing. But unfortunately, I think what is happening this time is because Trump's numbers are shaking. You see the New York mayor win, New Jersey a Democrat win.
Yeah. And it's an indictment to Trump that a Muslim is even winning New York at his own time.
Yes, these people won. There's a swing to Democrat. Not really so much. New Jersey swings between the Democrat. I think the Republican. Yeah, it's not just the other mayoral races. There was the something in Prop 50 in California. So there are bits and pieces here and there. But even before this election, the shutdown of the government, where federal workers haven't been paid, is impacting on Trump's rating. The farmers who voted Trump, who have not been able to sell their soybeans to China. So the trade war, there are bits and pieces that are shaking in the MAGA movement. And this thing, I was even watching on a left-wing leaning channel, and I saw that someone was saying, oh, Trump's rating was shaking. This was on a left-wing leaning channel. Trump's MAGA are beginning to get worried. Epstein files, this. And then this Mamdani win. So what does he do? They say he puts on Fox, he sees a big headline there, a genocide, and immediately Bill Maher goes on one of the primetime channels and says, oh, Christian genocide.
And nobody's talking about it. Yeah.
And the whole thing flows. Go and look at Jude Bella's channel, because he did a, how did we get here? He's done a documentary to tailor timeline by timeline, how the whole thing blew up. And Trump just looked at that. The MAGA base have already circled around this topic. Let me latch on to this topic. And that was the end of the story. So if you see, what I perceive is...
And you cannot tell Trump that he does not love Nigerian Christians now. You know that somehow he will say he loves Nigerian Christians.
My dear, Trump does what is good for Trump. And people like Trump, ratings matter. For the American president, ratings matter. But let us even put that aside. So number one, we know that this is part of certifying MAGA base. Number two, all that notion that America is coming because of anywhere they come to be destroyed. People have destroyed that. In 60% of nations that they have, they've succeeded well. Everybody will not have 100%. America not an exception. That's two. The third thing, that they're coming to steal our minerals. Ask me, is China not currently stealing the minerals with helicopters, picking Californium, picking gold up in Zamfara? Are they not already benefiting from it? And thank God that Papa Adeboye has, you see all those people in the Southwest who are Tinubu's data boys. Thank God that Papa Adeboye has sufficiently dismantled that notion that anybody has that China, the UK, Russia is coming to
nobody will save you.
Russia is tied down in the Ukraine war.
No, but I'm sorry, I have a problem with what Pastor Adeboye said. He said, when he said about that nobody is coming to save us, as though Trump was going to invade Nigeria or kill Nigerians. No, I think he misinterpreted Trump's statement. He didn't state it. He didn't emphasize that Trump said he's coming to kill the terrorists.
Let's not even go into the politics. It's a deliberate language. See,
but that's not fair. Because I mean, if I may be Trump, I feel sworn for anything.
See, I was watching a foreign channel. Many of these things, I'm now beginning to watch it from the foreign perspective. I'm left leaning in my politics. I am right leaning in my religious beliefs. So I'm what they call a social conservative, but a social democrat. So I lean left in my politics. I believe in public healthcare. I believe in public service. I don't believe in small government. But in my religious affinity, all these gender politics, I don't agree with it. So I'm right leaning in I'm a social conservative. I'm right leaning. So I lean to the Republican side when it comes to things like social conservatism, gender wars, and all that stuff. But I lean left in economy. But let's put that aside. So if I lived in America, I would be a liberal. I will be an independent rather, because I will not tag to any of the parties. So, but what I am saying here is dismantling those narratives that whatever the US is coming to do, you say they're coming to take wealth. How does the wealth currently benefit any Nigerian today? Okay, they are saying that Tinubu is spending 250 billion allegedly, according to Sahara report.
For one governor, to bribe one governor, according to them, say.
So these are the savings. These are the savings from removing, what's it called, this thing on petrol, subsidy on petrol. You are using it to bribe governors. Tinubu's government, I have a strong dislike. If though that we're not allowed to hate human beings, the word I will use for him is that I have a strong.
But what did he do for you? That's not fair, Laura. What did he do to you?
Fair. Hold on. Sorry, Precious. Because of time, let me get to where I want to get to. Now, because Tinubu came into government on the back of propaganda, lies. APC has been in office for 2 years, this is 7 months, and all they've done is tell lies, propaganda. Now that reality has dawned on them, they are still in propaganda mode. I was listening to Dr. Damages, and I heard that, is it the Deputy Senate President, said that America should apologize. Precious, did you see the video of the Katsina House of Assembly person or your local government chairman who took pictures recently, yesterday or day before yesterday, with bandits in Katsina, in Funtua? I did 2 weeks of my orientation, NYC orientation in Funtua. I did 10 months of my law school in Kano. So yes, I've spent roughly a year in the north, living in the north as a student. I can tell you I did not feel safe. Why does a secular state allow what should be a customary law? Sharia should be a customary law, bounding things like marriage. Why is it being used as the main law? Because it is political Sharia. It is not the normal. There are parts of the UK where people practice Sharia, but it is purely for divorce, family matters, and it is by choice. You go and submit yourself to that imam to say, I want to do a divorce by Sharia. You cannot govern any political aspect that is already covered by political laws and all that with Sharia. They put it there as a deliberate thing. I, for one, I do not agree with any notion that if America wants to come and take the resources, they should take it as long as they will give up peace. Because the government is currently stealing, destroying, sharing these resources, and still cannot give us any distance. All the people who are saying these people should not come, let me ask you, so if they don't come, then what? In technology, you solve a problem, then you ask, so what? Therefore, why? If America does not come to dismantle Boko Haram and the sponsors, like Pastor Adeboye said, eliminate them and their sponsors, do you think anything will change? I watched a video, somebody in a camp, an IDP camp, said they have been there since 2014, 10 plus years. Some people 16 years. And let me wrap up with this, Precious. Do you know why Nigerians are shouting? I went to listen to Jimmy Duce's column. I wanted to listen. And I wanted to hear what he will say. I was disappointed. And I wrote it there in the comment section in Jimmy Duce. Jimmy Duce has been criticizing Tinubu. All of a sudden, he's now falling into line. Tinubu must do this. Oh, Tinubu should do this. Oh, Tinubu should do that. There is a strong ethnocentric lining up of people from the Southwest by a few voices behind Tinubu. I don't know if Arnold, I saw something on one of the channels, they were saying Arnold put something, whether Tinubu's government should go. You see, NPC is still in the propaganda mode, deflecting. Did Trump say he's coming to attack the country? No. But they change the narrative because they have people who craft their narratives for them. Remember when Tinubu went to bring Axelrod to support Buhari to come into power? I have said it before that there's a war of narrative. These people have hired qualified narrative changers to change the narrative. And I gave the example of when Peter Obi critiqued them, when that's their APC national speaker, the person who speaks for the national spokesman, that is also from the Southeast or Delta Igbo. When he came, he didn't focus on the fact that Peter Obi says, oh, Tinubu's 2 years in office has been a failure. He focused on the fact that why is Peter Obi saying they want to kill him? They change narratives because that is their default mode. Even when Trump is saying, I am coming to eliminate terrorists, what are they doing? They are changing the narrative to say he's coming to kill Nigerians, he's coming to attack Nigeria, he's coming to bomb Nigeria. Suddenly, all the key people in the north are on TV speaking. You turn on this station, Anglo Abdullahi. You turn on this station, this. You turn on that station, that. All the Arewa people, they are speaking on. Sheikh has become the speaker for the whole of the north. Then on Dr. Damage's channel this evening, I saw the young woman who was insinuating they came to the north. We all were living. The Nupe, the Canaries, we were living well. Then these people came. We gave them houses. We gave them shops. Shops meaning the Igbos, right? Because why? They want to turn it into an ethnocentric thing. Tinubu himself said it, 2014, that this is a genocide in Christians. Buhari gave an award and he tweeted that the imam said
protected yes, Christians from attack.
So Khalifa Yode tweeted and called it Christian genocide. They went to the US.
Lai Mohammed said the same thing.
Went to lobby Kerry, whatever that it was, their own version of the NSC then, to say that. So it is irrelevant whether there's genocide, whether there's no genocide. The number of deaths are too many. As a result, America must come. And let me end with this again. Tinubu has zero interest in governance. Nothing. Tinubu is not interested in governance. All Tinubu is interested in is winning 2027, and therefore the people behind him. People like Dele Alake who are saying things like, oh, it is the Igbos. It will not fly. It will not work. Senator Ted Cruz will push this bill through. And what some people don't know, there is geopolitics here. There is midterm elections. I don't know if Ted Cruz is running for midterm election. I will go and check it. I think he's running for midterm election. Do you know the number of Igbo people that are in the South, that are in Texas, voting? I'm going to check if Ted Cruz is running for this midterm elections, because the country, because of all this federal shutdown, is already tilted in one direction. And Ted Cruz is all about, how do I come back to Senate? How do I make sure that if there's going to be a swing to Democrats, how do I make sure that I save my head? I'm going to check if he's in the midterm election. But America needs to come on. Targeted strikes. Take out these people. Many of the Fulanis that have come from outside of Nigeria, they say many of them are wearing earrings. Their facial features are not those of the average Nigerian Fulani. Take out, eliminate the targeted strike. Bring your warships, your rocket launcher. Bring it to the is it the Guinea-Bissau, whatever peninsula or something. Put it there. Strike. Precious, is about a week since Trump made his action. Have you seen anything serious?
No.
Have you seen the government come out to make decisive statements, arrest people? How come the government has not arrested anybody? But on Friday or Thursday, we saw Linda Keji's blog that the local government chairman for Futua local government in Katsina is lying down by the roadside or somewhere in an abandoned building with AK-47 wielding terrorists. But somehow the government has not arrested anybody. Instead, Nigerian government is still playing propaganda, bringing images from 9 months ago. Do you see these people as serious? No. They are so much set in that propaganda.
But you know that in reality, there are more attacks, even intensified attacks on Christians.
Oh, yes, because I'm trying to do as many damage as possible before the US come. If I were the US, before I take out... See, you cut off the head of a dragon before you deal with the dragon. If I were the US, I would take out their sponsors. There is some, I deliberately did not follow the Israel and Hamas war. I deliberately did not follow it because I don't want anything to disturb my mental health. But towards the end of it, before the ceasefire, there's one thing that I paid attention to. When Trump began to say, oh, they were going to attack Iran, oh, they were going to, those their bombs that they put at the bottom, several feet below the ground. I deliberately watched at that time. And then I also remember that I watched when Israel would take out a Hamas leader, right? The next day, Hamas will announce a new leader. The person will be based in Tehran. Boom! Israel will announce, we've killed him. They will announce another, there was a space of 2 weeks. Back to back to back to back to back. They were announcing leaders for almost 2 weeks. As they announced, bam! Targeted, clean. wipeouts. I don't see. I believe
Laura.
in the right of any nation to defend themselves. Since our government are playing politics with our lives, and America is coming, they say America is coming to steal our resources. America, come and take. Come and take. If people will have life at the end of the day, come and take it. For me, clean, targeted. Nobody is too big enough. If you like, be the leader of all Muslims in Nigeria. If you are complicit, out. Precious, I round up with a few words in 1 minute. See, people say, why is the US coming to do this? What is the need for them? When 9/11 happened, and America said they are never again, the way Israel said never again, America's foreign policy changed. One of it was, we are going to go after terrorists when they are in their own land. We don't want to fight the war of terror on our soil. The collateral damage is too much. So anywhere America sees terrorist organizations forming, building, sustained, especially where it has government backing, they will observe, they will be collecting intelligence. They will observe, they will be collecting. At the point where they feel it's becoming a threat, that these people will from one day access their soil or access an American military base in a foreign soil, they will begin to map out how to take that. So you see, when they went after ISIS, and they took out and decimated ISIS in part of the unoccupied, between Iraq and Iran and all of those unoccupied spaces. It was because they thought it was necessary to decimate these people there and then. Because if you allow them, they will become the Osama bin Laden that will eventually come into your country. That is one. We are not the first. The US has been dealing what they call operation something. There's a campaign, there's a name for it. They call it something Horn of Africa. All around that southeast for several years, the US kept decimating leaders of terror groups, Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda groups, cells. They had a long sustained campaign. Most of those people moved down to West Africa, moved down to the Sahel. They went after them again in Libya. Now, many of them have come to Nigeria. They don't have a base in Agadez again, right? So I welcome. I was listening to a program on radio. More than 95% of the callers, Precious, said they welcome America. And Precious, let me round up. You see, when you are a leader, a president who rules for the elite rather than for the people, the day an enemy will come, your people will join the enemy to take up arms against you. Tinubu has been leading purely for the elites since he came into office. As soon as Buhari dies, he gives a position to Babangida's son. Tinubu has no interest in governance. As a leader, he is described like Solomon's son. Increase taxes, extract, deliver zero value for people. Zero. Therefore, I think the US has been putting pressure on him so that he will act. Yet it is 1 week we can't see any serious action from him. I personally welcome the US, but please, I beg the US, we don't want them. I've been listening to the Democrats, they're already talking trash. Thank God that the Republicans have the numbers to push this thing through Congress. I pray that Congress will get back together, put this bill on the table, vote for it. I encourage all Nigerians in the US, call your senator. You see, when Peter Obi lost that election, I called a group of obedience because I don't like talk. I like plan and action. I said, let us lobby. Arrange yourselves. Everybody will say, no, I'm not interested. Let's stay on Twitter and be shouting to the point that Abure calls us paper tigers. No, I'm not interested. I canceled my Twitter account and I went to sit down my own. Thank God for the brave people, the Catholic Church, who organized for that Reverend Father to go to Senate and speak. Dear Nigerians, if you live in the US, call your senators, especially those of them who are due for the midterm elections, Republican senators. Tell them to vote in favor of Ted Cruz's bill. All the names must be released. Every governor that has passed Sharia in a secular nation needs to, if they have houses, all their assets must be seized. Weakest assets must be seized. Everybody backing this government doing nothing. I ask you, Precious, why is it that when Truth Nigeria told Tinubu's government, told the DSS, told the Nigerian army, 3 weeks to Yelwata attack, they are coming? Why did the Nigerian government not attack? Why did the Ghanaian government not even set ambush? because they collude. They collude. They are in partner. Tinubu doesn't care. As long as he gets the votes, he will not do anything because of 2027 election. It's the North to give him the vote because he didn't win the South. Don't win the South. So therefore, Nigerians, there is a role you can play. Call your senator, back the bill, put the names of those people out. You will be shocked, the people, the high and the mighty. Some leaders of caliphates, emirates in the north are part and parcel of this leadership. Call, if you are in Texas, call Senator Tedu. There are such a high number of Nigerians in Texas. Thankfully, they are mostly Southeasterners. Call your senator. Tell them to, because I'm already here. I listen more to American stations. They are already saying one Democrat, something Jackson of Illinois, talking, waiting, Sabi. Call your senators to vote in favor of the bill. And let us pass this bill. Once that bill is passed, this issue's assets will be frozen.
That is the bill against Miyetti, Allah, and the rest sponsors and sympathizers.
It is Miyetti, Allah, sponsors of genocide,
terrorism,
and every governor, the 16 governors or 12 governors that have implemented Sharia, past and present, all of them should have visa bans. All assets should be seized. And you know that if they decide to strike, it will be both the sponsors and the main implementers of Illinois. They are Nigerians. Call your senators. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.